Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Live with Joan. And we're going to give it a few minutes for people to jump on. I'm going to plunge my coffee. It looks like I have a weird thing coming out of my shoulder. It's supposed to be a cute little Christmas tree. I used to live in my barn during this season. Maybe one day it will live in a barn again, sooner than not. Here we go. Yasmin always says that she gets so, like, she needs coffee the minute she sees me pour my cup of coffee. So anyway.
I do too now. Drinking water.
And there's Maureen. Good morning, Maureen. Maureen just joined the big program, so that's exciting.
Oh,
and,
yay.
Yeah. She's been in AC Level 1. And then, yeah. You should see how beautiful it is right now. It rained last night, which is, of course, really unusual. It didn't rain like pouring, but it sprinkled, and it was very damp on my hike this morning, and I love the smell of the desert in the after the rain. So it's amazing.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear where you're from, and
okay.
Yeah. Let's hear.
Okay, so we said hi to Maureen already. Yasmin, hello everyone. Hi.
Good
Yasmin.
morning, Yasmin.
Morning. Kristen Hedberg. Hi everyone. Aaron.
Good morning, Kristen. Ooh.
Aaron, I'm not going
Did
to
you guys see?
say your last name.
Where's Aaron from?
She hasn't posted that yet. Or he, sorry. Heidi Evans Ensley says, hi, Joan from Carnation, Washington. That's your little said, Joan.
Yeah, Heidi also just joined the big program. Heidi went on a dolphin trip. We went to the same yoga center. And, yeah.
Okay. Robin Leslie, hi from Seattle. Leslie
Hi,
Williams,
Robin. Hi.
Michael Hofferberg, good morning from the Pacific Northwest.
Good morning, Michael. I've known Michael forever. And Michael's been with us since you and I started this. I was thinking about this when I was thinking about how many people are still here, because it has been a journey, and here you're helping me again. And this January will be year 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we have so many fun things to talk about in a few minutes about next year. It's going to be crazy great. Okay.
Nami Sugiyama says hello, everyone from Dallas.
Good morning, Nami.
Kristen Hedberg is from Virginia. Aaron is from Colorado.
I used to live in Colorado.
Says good morning.
Good morning, Jane.
And Tanya says hello, Joan and Claudia. Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
And Chris says good morning. Hope you're getting some rain.
We are. Are you? All right. So I know a few more people are going to come on. And if you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, TEDx speaker, and founder of Communication with All Life University. And the school is a program to learn animal communication or become an animal communicator, to learn energy healing or become an energy healer. And it's also, we really, 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 really are launching the nature and wildlife part of the school this year. So it's a very exciting time, and we have lots of other stuff to talk about with that. And I want to go back to my mission because it's going to be so important in this coming year. As I'm telling you, we are going to up the game. Right, Claudia?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh wait, I need to make you a little louder. Yeah. I'm getting weird feedback from your...
From me?
Yeah, from me. It's probably from my computer.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting it when you speak. There we go.
Okay.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
Weird.
It's the Facebook fairies.
The Facebook fairies. There's a little weird feedback. Anyway, So we have a lot of fun stuff coming up this next year. We have fun stuff in here and fun stuff in the school. And I thought I'd take a moment to talk about that before we talk about how to prepare for animal communication in the landscape of your mind. So, what we have planned for the school is huge. We are really, and I'll go into that in a minute. Do we have more people coming in, Claudia?
Yes. Is that better? I put my headset on. That might help.
Let me see. Yes! No feedback. Because you know what it would do? It'd be like I'd say hello, and then there'd be a little...
Okay.
There's like a ribbit. You know, there was like a frog following me everywhere I went.
Okay. All right. So going back. By the way, Chris says yes. She's getting rain.
Good.
Cindy Atwood, hello from Maine.
Good morning, Cindy.
Kathy Decker says hi.
Hi, Kathy.
Kathy, you're gonna love this class, this Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Yasmin, yes, much better with the headset. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, because Yasmin is that one that would tell you that there's a ribbit going on.
All right, so okay.
Except it was more guttural. It was a guttural ribbit.
So that's pretty much it so far.
Okay, cool. Well, we have a lot to talk about. So I wanted to just start a little bit with what's happening in the school. So there's the normal curriculum, the animal communication, and the energy healing for animals track. You can do either or both, known as the big program. And then there's the nature and wildlife. And while it isn't a complete certification program yet, it's on its way to, and we've got a lot of the pieces coming together and starting in the spring. But what we're going to do here in the Facebook Live is also related. We used to have, and we're implementing again, a rescue call. So it will be 12 weeks of just helping different rescues. So if you have a rescue and you want your animals talked to, write to assist at Joan Ranquet. We're gonna have an outreach. We need. Do you have an email from my school? No, we'll get you one. So anyway, there's that, and then so that will be a 12-week course. Then we're going to do a 12-week in sanctuaries, and then we're going to do a 12-week in zoos, wildlife sanctuaries, and rehab centers. The prerequisite for all of that, of course, is animal communication level 1. The medical intuition is going to be pretty important as well. And then the 12 weeks of what I call animal communication, advanced animal communication with behavior. So behavioral issues. And the reason I say that those are the prerequisites is because the medical intuition is a lead-in to often a lot of what your behavioral problems are. So if you look at animals in rescues, if you look at animals in shelters, if you look at animals that can't get adopted, if you look at animals that are sitting in sanctuaries like the Gentle Barn that aren't getting along with others, if you look at animals in wildlife centers and or zoos, all of those situations could be a behavioral issue on its own based on its past, or it could be a medical intuition situation. And in order to really help them, we've got to be as neutral as we can be. And on top of it all, in order to really create a change for those animals, for example, a home is the biggest ultimate goal with the rescues and shelters, but even just animals living in harmony in a zoo. Like, I don't love zoos, but I've been asked to go communicate with animals there. And there was this one monkey that was, I think I talked about this before, part of kind of almost a rape culture, if you will, of like they couldn't put him with anyone. But in his isolation, he was so depressed and he was acting very neurotic. He was, just really like pacing and doing all kinds of things. So the communication really helped, but I did EFT just right outside of his enclosure. I went back to where the zookeepers are and did EFT with him, and he stayed right next to the cage. I could almost touch him, except I heard he was naughty. But he was so into the attention, the love, being heard, and then the release of the EFT. And so, as a school, as a movement, I want all of us working as a movement out into the world in that way. And in order to do what I think we can do, it requires a fair amount of being neutral, having a bigger skill set than just animal communication, really being able to do medical intuition, and then, of course, ultimately having the skill of all the energy healing that we offer, whether it's scalar wave for somebody who's not feeling well and maybe they're in a hospice sort of rescue, or doing EFT so that you can help mitigate some of those big triggering feelings and being able to help somebody integrate into their situation much, much better. Some of these animals are never going to leave their surroundings, so why wouldn't we want to make it better for them? And then some of them have the opportunity to move into a different situation, so we need to hear what it is that they need and find it. So for me, the training that we've been doing has set us up for this, but we're putting together all the bits and pieces that have been dangling out there for a few years and really honing it in on something profound. I know Shannon is driving today, and that's why she's not chiming in, but Shannon and Claudia and me and Deidre, who's very behind the scenes, all of this is stuff that we've been working on and putting together for a while, and it's like amazing how it's coming together. So that's just the school part, right? Isn't it cool, Claudia?
It's incredible what we're working on developing right now. I get chills whenever we have a meeting with all the stuff that's coming up.
And our meetings are like enlightened, like boom, stuff like poof. All of a sudden it's like, raining glory on us, and we're going to have this whole new aspect to it. And the same with when I meet with Shannon lately. And then one of the people that's going to be heading up the wildlife is Wendy Cundiff. And every time I meet with her, it's like beyond magical. So the meetings, like, some people would be like, I've got a meeting today. I'm like, what's going to happen today? So I get excited about how many and I'm not that person that wants to sit in front of the computer. I like to be outside and to move and even pick up horse shit. But we've had some really amazing meetings. Sometimes my meetings are me picking up horse shit on a headset talking to somebody, but for the most part, we've had some really great meetings. And then I'll talk about what's going to happen in the Facebook Live here. So is anybody chiming in?
Okay, so going back. So when you first started talking about the rescues and sanctuaries, Maureen Bissonette said, I'm so excited for that. I do lots of stuff with the burro sanctuary.
We're going to need, oh my God, so we're going to need some burros in the sanctuary part of the class.
Oh, yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
I love them.
I know.
Shelly Messier says she's here. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, Shelly.
Daisha. Hi, Daisha. Hello, family.
Hello, Daisha.
Shelly says she agrees with what you're saying about the animals. And then Charlie Kale says, yes, I love that worldwide goal, and we all play a part, consciously or not. Thank you for being our emotional leader.
Thank you.
Chris says, sounds awesome. Tanya says, very amazing and exciting times. Oh my God, Tanya.
Yeah. So again, going back to the mission, like my mission is to empower others to deeply connect with all life so that together we can give voice to those who can't speak for themselves, and ultimately heal the planet. I always say that animal communication could lead us to world peace. It's really getting that quiet, being able to listen, all the skills that we need with animal communication. Oh my God, if we did it with humans, it'd be incredible. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. And of course, putting a number on it means 10 million animals. We're going to help. That's what we've been saying. Should we up the game? And if we were going to up the game, what would that look like? What's the number that we're going to help this next year in 2022? Let's hear it. I'd love to hear your input because we can do this together. We can do this collectively. And I
It's so
say
funny.
today we find the number. Yes.
Oh my God, this morning when I was working on the project, I was thinking, well, in 2019, it was 1 million animals. What's the new number? So funny that you bring that up.
What's the new number?
Chris Wilson, 20 million.
Okay. All right, let's see. 20 million going once. 20 million. Is anyone else typing in? Waiting.
Michael Hofferbert says 22 million.
Oh, I like 22 because it's 2022.
That's 2022.
That's good. And it's a 4. It's going to be, 2022. It's a 6. It's going to be a 6 year, which is kind of the party. It's going to be some fun. I mean, there's definitely some lessons and there's parental kind of lessons, but there's also a lot of fun. And I live in a 6 house, and when you live in a 6 house, I mean, even if you're an introvert, you have guests all the time. Weird. So anyway, an extroverted introvert, and there's never a dull moment in the 6 house. So 6 year will be fun.
Yes.
I'm looking.
Hold on now. The number. Okay. The now number is all. Okay, that was Shelley. Janet Duffy says, I'm so excited about what's coming in 2022. Me too.
Me too.
Cindy Atwood says, double it. And Jane Wu says, for sure China can help reaching this number. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And Shelley Messier wants to know, communication can travel through animals as well, right?
Yes, of course.
So, yeah, that's what we have. So I think 22 million.
Okay, we're going to help 22 million animals in 2022. I think it sounds amazing. Helping 22 million animals in 2022. Who's with me? Right, yes, if you're with me. Type in yes. Are we getting some yeses?
We're getting a woohoo from Chris.
Okay, cool. Any yeses?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Hold on. It's
a tsunami of yeses.
You know how when popcorn takes a while and all of a sudden they all pop at the same time. So Shelley, Shelley says there shouldn't be a limit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Nami says yes.
Minimum.
Charlie Hale said
minimum.
Totally. Yeah, minimum 22 million. Maureen Bissonette says definitely. Val Smith, yes. Leslie Williams, yes.
Hi, Val.
Yes. Shelley, yes. Tanya, yes. Tanya says woohoo, yes. Cynthia Stewart, hi Cynthia, yes.
Hi Cynthia.
Barbara Spalding says yes, yes, yes. Diane Lopresti, Heidi Evans Ensley, Janet Duffy, Daisha Cochran says yes.
Yes.
Aaron says yes. Jane Sewell says yes. Janice Fletcher says yes. Michael Hofferbert says yeah.
Yeah. Michael Hofferbert needs to join the school. We need a guy, yeah. And, yeah, he'd be the third Michael. Weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, let's see. What else? Trying to think of what else I wanted to say. So, I want to talk a little bit about what's going to happen here in the Facebook Live. And then what we're doing in... and then our topic today. So what we're doing here in the Facebook Live, starting in January, on January 11th, we're going to take a break. I'll be here on the next week and the 21st. And then we're going to have a few weeks off. The school has a few weeks off. And the joke is that I take a few weeks off, which means I'll be writing curriculum for the school or working on a book or something. So it's not really off, but kind of. Anyway, I'll have enlightened meetings with my people. But anyway, we will pick back up again on January 11th, which will be Claudia's birthday. And so that will be very fun. And we'll do an intro to what we're about to do. And what we're about to do, and so I really encourage you, if you have friends that want to join this group, for January and February and March. This is going to be profound. We're going to the series. It's 12 weeks, and it's going to be called. It's called How to Help Animals, and we really are going to look at those models of rescues, shelters, sanctuaries, zoos, and animals that have been used by society, like for testing, anyway, I'm not going to go into that because we haven't settled those guests yet, or for medical purposes. So we've got, thankfully, I know just about everybody in the industry, so we'll have some, and if I don't, I know somebody who does. So we're going to have some amazing guests in that department. And then we also, we know that we're having on the second week, January 18th, we're going to have, oh my God, his name just went out of my... Andrew Harvey, right? And his book, I would love it if all of you read his book. It's called Hope.
Hope, I'll post it.
Yeah. And just to get started in the idea, so the first week will be an introduction to the series, but the second week will be all about sacred activism. And we're going to really activate ourselves. And then the third week, I've got someone else we're just confirming. And then we're going to speak to some leading people with rescues, with shelters. I haven't reached out to some of my own students here, but some of my own students in the school are really active in different elements. And so they will be involved with, toward the end, as we it's almost like we're going to go, oh my, oh, wow, okay. And then we're going to pick it back up and really... So it's going to be a journey, like all my things are. Like when we did Where Are You on the Journey? But this journey is going to be very, very, very empowering. In the middle of it, I already had something else completely else planned, which will be the Nature and Wildlife Masterclass. And so that Tuesday that will be part of this series, it's almost like there's going to be this really... across. And so to me, it's just going to be a magical moment of having this How to Help Animals in this Nature and Wildlife Masterclass smack dab in the middle of it. And so we will have some leading experts who have wildlife centers, and we all know that I know several people, so you can imagine there's going to be some really, we're just dealing with timing and all of that right now. But there are going to be some magical encounters here for the next, from January 11th to I think March 29th. There, especially in the Nature and Wildlife class, there's going to be lots of homework. There's going to be not as many handouts at first, but you never know. We will be doing a lot of visioning, a lot of work toward... I like to say that what I do in my life is on Sundays, I sit and I call it my church. I journal, I visualize, and I stick to my visualizations throughout the week. But it's my moment of envisioning, and then the rest of the day is activating. And I feel like we're going to create our own way of activating, helping, so that we're aligned with other people. So that 22 million doesn't mean that I have to go out and, walk dogs at every shelter to help every animal. It's going to look different, and we're really going to develop this over the next 3 months. So it's very exciting. Do you have anything to add, Claudia?
Just really quick, Janice Fletcher pointed something out. First of all, Maureen posted the page for her Burroughs Rehab and Recovery Sanctuary. And then Janice Fletcher said, I just did a search on Andrew Harvey, and when you go to his website, the link to the book Hope, you can download the audio version for free.
Oh,
so
cool.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I just bought the book, right?
Yeah, I bought the book too, though. But I've read a lot of Andrew Harvey's stuff. He and I both were speakers at an event this time last year, and then we're both in the book Karma of Cats, and he talks about the white lions, which of course I've been to a few times, and I've had Linda Tucker here, and you can imagine that Linda Tucker may or may not be one of the guests. But so anyway, we've got a huge guest list, and we've we're in the process of nailing down dates. So we'll have all the dates by in no time we'll have all the dates. So you can mark your calendar if there's somebody really specific you want to hear about how to help animals. So does anyone have any comments? And do you have anything to say about the how to help animals or stuff in the school or any of it, Claudia?
So just briefly, because I could talk about it ad nauseum. All I can say is that the more that yesterday I realized that we're just channeling this thing because it's got a life of its own. Every time we get together,
yeah,
it's unreal how things just it's. I was watching it last night on the screen on the Googly Docs. I saw it schedule itself, like form itself.
Yeah.
Right? It's from what we thought at first, it's now even better, and it kind of did it on its own, which is just
crazy
amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my favorite type of thing is when, it's like, oh, I think I have this idea, but really I'm just being used, right?
Yeah.
And then it just comes forth, and then we just get to do it. So it's really, this is going to be huge. It's going to be really huge and cool and fun and wonderful and great. So, yeah, so I'm very excited about that. Any other comments, questions?
No one's commented yet, but I also want to comment about the school that teacher training and teaching the classes. I am loving the school. I'm loving the students. And every time, even if I'm a graduate already, I continue to learn. And it's an amazing, amazing program. So if anybody has any questions about it, you can talk to Shannon. But it is life-changing. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who's interested in the program. And she's like, oh, my God, get me the information now. I'm like, okay. Because it's just life-changing. She's she's seen me change. So
yeah.
I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm seriously saying if you love animals and you want to make a difference and you want to be a part of the change,
we're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it here. And so you can always reach out to Shannon at info@joanranquet.com. She can help you put you on your path. Because maybe your path, everybody's path is a little bit different. We have a wide variety of things to offer. But she can help you. She's an expert at helping people create what your specific journey is going to look like. And all of us, the more, it's funny because the more the teachers are working together in a really great way, the more all the teachers are part of your individual journey. So that's what I'm loving about the teacher training lately. I was wishing we had it tomorrow, but we don't. We don't have it again but we have study hall. Anyway, I digress. Okay, any other questions, comments?
Yeah. Daisha says, thank you so much for all your wisdom and teachings, Joan. The world needs these healing practices now more than ever. And it is so comforting to know that you have created a space for all of those with the intention of peace and healing for the greater good to join together. Amen.
Thank you. Amen.
Tanya says, yes, with what I was saying, yes, totally agree. Amazing school and amazing tribe. 100%, Tanya.
Yeah, absolutely.
I found somewhere I fit in now.
Yeah, us weirdos all came together. So, what I wanted to talk about today is it's funny. I have a lot of thoughts about this, how to present this, but I find that when people want to be an animal communicator or help, there's so much that gets in the way. And the first thing that gets in the way is ourselves. And so I always say that if you really want to talk to animals, how do you get there? Well, getting quiet, like the meditation. You need a safe place to practice. And then you need verification. And that verification, it builds the muscle. So you're building this huge telepathic muscle. And then from there, you're building a confidence muscle. And then in the school, you eventually build a medical intuition muscle and a healing muscle and all these other muscles so that you become this amazing bodybuilder. But in the meditation, I know that there are several things that get people, that bother people, that drive people crazy. And one of those things is the idea of like, well, I don't really do well meditating. So I wanted to break that down for a minute. A lot of times meditation isn't, you can go learn to meditate and you can learn to get quiet and you can learn to get quiet somewhere else and have all of this quietness on a mountaintop with, flowing robes and flowers in your hair. But at the end of the day, that meditation has to translate into your daily life. And so, what does that mean? And that's why I always joke that, like, I get my meditation first thing in the morning, and then I get another couple meditations every time I go pick up horse shit, right? Like going and cleaning the paddock is another form of meditation for me because it's just quiet. It's a simple activity. So there are a lot of people, and maybe you want to type in if you don't do well sitting meditation, because I love to talk to people about a walking meditation. A lot of times, back when we had huge groups here, we would go talk to the Gibbons down at the Gibbons Center, and we would use the opportunity of the 10-minute walk for a walking meditation. And I would really have teachers planted to say, like, stay quiet, because it's easy to get on a walk and start talking to the people in the class. And then, of course, everybody would be like so excited. Walking home would be a totally different crowd walking home afterwards. But walking down there, we really tried to implement a walking meditation. And a walking meditation, I think of, it's just really quieting your mind. And other things also quiet your mind, things that are very rhythmic. Like, for example, if you ride, like I ride dressage, so posting for me, or just the rhythm of the horse's hoofbeats is another meditation. And that's why I can get into a zone with my horse. with my horse. I jump rope 3 days a week. That's very meditative because it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You might run. So there are a lot of meditative activities out there that aren't necessarily sitting. And maybe you guys have some ideas about that and could type some in so other people could get an idea. Claudia, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah. So I find a lot of the things that you said are meditative, I found meditative as well. Before I actually learned how to meditate, I would do it while I was swimming.
Swimming is a great meditation.
Because you're in a quiet, right? And it's just 1, 2. And I actually would repeat a mantra over and over. Very simple mantra. It was just let go and let God. And that's what I did. And before I knew it, I'd swim, I don't even know how many laps. And I had been meditating.
Right.
And that's what led me to believe I can sit and meditate.
Right.
If I can do that.
Yeah. And when you are able to do that, then you find that quiet meditative state can be how you wash dishes, how you clean the toilet, how you sit, how you stand in line waiting for something, how you drive through traffic. So meditation is that thing that you start, that you practice, that you utilize throughout the day. So anything can become meditative. Go ahead.
Cindy Atwood says stall work when I had it and dog walking. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yoga.
And yoga. Yeah, of course. I do yoga too.
Yeah. Jane Wu says gardening. 100%.
Gardening. Yeah, that's another great one.
Michael Hofferbert says I find balancing river rocks very meditative and centering. Oh my God.
Oh, we need pictures.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Chris says when I am sitting and go to meditate, I imagine I'm on my horse on a trail ride and get into the zone while I ride.
Nice. That's a great visualization.
Yeah. Loretta says, I love to meditate while weeding the garden. I also do Tai Chi, sing, and drum. Sitting and meditating is also enjoyable for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because Ayat is another Leo. We can be busy, but we also can really master meditation. And the thing about um, that level of quietness is something that then you crave. But it's like you have to kind of get over the hump with it. And having different ways that you can get that quiet, like Ayat was saying, the Tai Chi, the drumming, all of that is a way to find that space. And we'll talk about our mind in a minute. What, anyone else?
Cynthia's. Okay, so Robin Leslie, I'm trying to find where I left off. Her first meditation was swimming, snowboarding, and walking in nature. Yeah. Cynthia Stewart says painting and meditate is. Oh my God, I can't read all of a sudden. Painting is meditative.
Yeah.
And Val Smith says drawing and painting.
Yeah, we've got a couple artists here for sure. Yeah. So if when we say, "Oh my God, meditation is hard," it's great to look at all the ways in which we already do meditate, and then bring that to your meditation. So one of my favorite topics is, I call it the landscape of your mind, and the reason I love to talk about the landscape of our mind is because if you've meditated for a while, you start to know what your own mind is and what it feels like. And actually, let's just take a moment. Everybody just close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to really just feel into what your mind feels like. And I want you to type in how you could describe it. Is it bouncy? Is it busy? Is it quiet? Is it still? Is it funny? Is it distracting? Is it distracted? What is distracting you? Go ahead and type in what you experienced just now. What did you experience, Claudia?
Can you hear me now? Mm-hmm. I've been muting my mic so it doesn't distract. My mind bounces a lot, but when I purposely go inward, it's delicious. I never thought I would get to that space where I would enjoy it, because I was that person that was bouncing their leg trying to meditate. And now I should do this more often.
Yeah. Okay, what are people typing in?
Okay, oh Lord. Claire Trost, centered. Erin and the Scoop says calm. Shelley Meister, the only thing that has held me back is, she says, yes, anything can be used for meditation. Okay, remembering the most enjoyable moment in the practice, that feeling. Cynthia Stewart says peaceful. Nami says calm. Kathy Decker, it says, it felt very expansive with, it just jumped. It felt calm, but with two parts, like there was a line through the middle. Interesting.
All right.
Michael Hofferbrett says distracted. Ayat, it felt very expansive with rosy light, and that felt alive, but still at the same time. Shelley says peaceful, smile all through me.
Okay, and I love that idea of that line, because to me, that's like almost the lifeline to get into even deeper, because it's like we should be aware of everything around us and be able to be that quiet. And that, to me, is that's a great visual for me to help people think about. So if we think about, I see some more things coming in.
Yeah, I was just letting you finish. Okay, Yasmin says it's delicious inner space that I can access more and more. Thank you, Yasmin, for putting into words what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Robin Leslie says, my mind is funny in the cage of thoughts. I'm very aware that it is separate from the whole. Leslie Williams says, jumping about. Heidi Evett says, I find my body wanting to move and my brain reminding my body to stay still. Jane Swool says, calm with the small area busy in the corner. Okay.
Well, that's good.
Bernadette. Hi, Bernadette.
Hi, Bernadette.
My mind is expansive and wants to learn everything it can to help. Erin says, I describe that feeling as delicious too, so it's nice to hear a couple of you describe it that way.
Yeah, for me, meditation is delicious, but yeah.
Yeah. And Maureen Bissonette says, it's hard to keep my mind quiet. I like to do an exercise that James French teaches to get present. Also, YouTube has like guided meditations to do the Akashic records. Okay.
But what we're talking about here for animal communication is just that deep quietness. And I call it dropping in. And so that visual that Kaki provided us with, like, here's the world that's expansive. And some of you might hear, you know, somebody working out in the yard, or you might still hear everything. So there's the existence around me and the expansion, but there's this one place where I can go very deeply that's so quiet and so delicious and so safe. And when I'm there, if I hear something else in that landscape, I know it's not mine, because I know what this landscape feels like. And part of that becomes a huge boundary, because if I haven't asked to make that connection, I can push it out. It becomes another distraction. If I have invited it in, then I'm getting information, and from that quiet place, I'm able to receive a lot of information from the other, from the animal, and then I'm able to write it down in that very, 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 very quiet place. So that to me is animal communication. Now, or the place I like to be with animal communication. What we're able to do that in a class, but what happens in real life is, let's say you go to the doggy daycare and they want you to talk to that dog that's aggressive toward the other dog. All of a sudden there's the pressure of the situation. There's the barking of the doggy daycare. And you've got to be able to drop in and be aware. And especially if you're working with horses, because you always have to have your own safety first. And dogs, all animals. I mean, animals are animals. So you want to be able to have that mental, emotional, spiritual safety of a deep meditation and the awareness of your surroundings, but like Heidi said, without moving my body, and awareness of what's coming in. So it's really almost threefold. And the more you know your own mind, you know when stuff is coming in, what is yours, what is not. And the distractions lessen because this space is so grounded. And when you start operating from that space, and you're able to push things out, even when another human is speaking to you, that's when people will say, wow, you are so grounded. And it's like, no, I'm just shoving crap out of my mind. But it doesn't belong. And then that brings up another thing. If I'm in that space, I can't start making up things for people like, suggestions or solutions which don't belong in that animal communication phase, right? It really is important that as animal communicators, we're truly listening at the deepest level. And in doing that, we're able to literally get the information that the animal has. I have a lot of ideas, and I wrote them all in a book called Energy Healing for Animals. But at the same time, I honor the idea that the human on the other end of this communication might have better ideas for themselves. I found that over and over and over again. So if I'm in that super quiet place, I'm not jumping to fix the situation. I really am listening. The minute I have so many ideas to fix the situation, I'm now in the ego. Whereas this other space is dropping into that meditative, I call it taking the elevator down, that very deep space. And that's why I love for people to watch the landscape of your own mind, because the solutions are coming from a different part of your mind. And they aren't, that isn't what you're there to do. It doesn't mean that you can't do that. I mean, you can always say, may I offer some help? So, there's ways to deal with that. But real true, the actual vegan meat of animal communication is that deep listening. And that's why I say it could solve world peace, because if we did that with other humans, we'd be in the most amazing place on the planet. Would just be miraculous. So I hope that helps, that you start to see, like, where am I able to get quiet? Where do I have to fix things? What is my mind like? And I really hope that next, you'll take some time to really look at the landscape of your mind. Because also, the other thing is, when you know this feeling of very, 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 very quiet, and you kind of anchor that in, and some people even use the quiet, safe space that our classes offer from the intensive to anchor back into. When you're able to anchor that deep, quiet space within yourself, the next phase of learning, and this is something that the AC Level 1 people, like I know Marina's in there, Heidi's in there, Kaya's in there, Kristen's in there, Cindy's in there. For me, that first 12 weeks of the program are all about being able to get to that quiet space and communicate. You're in a safe zone. We shake it up a bit when you get some homework. But the idea is that you've got to be able to, there will always be distractions. We can make it so safe here in class. But some of you, when you come to an intensive and it's like so safe and so quiet and so deep, and you get so much information, and then you go home and you try to do it and it doesn't happen. It is learning to live with the distractions that is what is true meditation, because it's like I'm there for a moment and then this comes in and you just move it out. I'm just balanced back here again perfectly. This comes in, or the husband says something, or the sibling, or or the dog barks, or the neighbor turns the chainsaw on, or, you hear your horses outside doing something super naughty. But it's still getting back to this space. I for years and years and years, living by myself on a farm, doing, session after session after session, one person calls in, the next person calls in, the next person calls in, everybody on the half hour. If there was something going on the farm, I couldn't do anything about it, or it would disrupt the whole flow of the day, right? This person would be 10 minutes late, that person would be 10 minutes late, maybe I had to teach at 5. I couldn't do it. So I learned to literally be so quiet, but if I heard something outside with the horses, and my computer was here and the window was looking out, I would just I could just open an eye and be like, oh yeah, nothing I can do about it. Drop back in. So that it's like managing the two worlds, so to speak, of being in that space and knowing that the world is still existing around me and it could distract me at any time. And I'm solid. I'm anchored in here. Does that make sense?
Yes. So, Lorraine Bollinger. Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Lorraine. I was thinking about you on my hike this morning. I was like, where's Lorraine? Anyway, go ahead.
She says, and practice makes perfect. Yes. Shelley says she's learning to live with the distractions. Ronnie Prem says, now in the ego, wow, so deep. That's a very powerful statement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm trying to catch up to the comments. I didn't want to interrupt your flow.
Yeah, I know. I was blah, blah, blah. Once again, blah, 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 blah.
No, that's not blah, blah, blah. That was in the zone. So.
Yeah, that was in the zone because we went there. And it's like, I love to check in. I look at like certain religions, you know, if you were living in Morocco, what do you stop and pray 7 times a day, right? Like, talk about a check-in. I mean, I love that idea. Like, and for me, that brings up another thing. Like, if this is what you want to do and this is how you want to be, having ways to put yourself back into that quiet space. Like, I have natural interruptions here that put me in that quiet zone. I feed horses in the morning, at lunch, dinner time, and late night. So I can't, and I have to let the dogs out. I don't have a fence, and there's wildlife everywhere. So I've built into my day natural breaks of regrounding. And, you know, so it's like if you know you get distracted or you know you can't sit too long because it will make for not focused later on, build in your breaks. Build into your life how it is you want it to go. I could talk about that all day long. Anyway, any other questions, comments?
Michael Hofferbert says, right, well explained. Lorraine says she's missed us. We missed you.
We miss you.
Shelley Messier says, so much great stuff. Chris Wilson says, such a great reminder to check in during the days with our busy lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
says,
part
of the wisdom.
That's, you know, that check-in is part of really understanding the landscape of your mind. I mean, I haven't smoked for so long, but I swear to God, I used smoking as a mini meditation. Like, oh, I'm going to go outside and, right? Like for me, it was meditation. It was, and I, you know, I'm sure Michael Hofferbert remembers me meditating with smoke. Anyway, not that I advocate that, but that is one of those things that people that never smoke don't get, right? Like that is a built-in, you know, the more you smoke, the more you meditate. I'm kidding. Anyway, so...
Yeah, no.
I know, we can't, ever. I know, cigarettes and coffee. Do you know, yeah.
I was going to say what Tanya just said. Yeah, cigarettes and coffee.
Don't make me miss it, Tanya. Anyway, I always say that if one of the things I did the last time I quit, which was a long time ago, is that I could start again when I'm 73. So, you know, as long as then it doesn't feel like forever. So, anyway, I'm really glad we got to have this time to really discuss this in this Facebook Live because I feel like meditation is one of those things that is elusive or it stops people, and yet it's the gateway to this whole thing, to all of it. And it doesn't have to be this big scary thing. You can practice it in other ways and then bring it to your practice. of sitting, because you want to be able to sit if you're going to talk to animals, especially in person, because how messed up would it be if you were like walking in a spiral and a horse was standing there? I mean, it could happen. You could maybe hypnotize the horse, but I just think being able to be really quiet is one of the best things animals can experience. So.
Okay. Val has a very valid point about the smoking, by the way. It makes sense because you're connecting with your breath.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, you're breathing. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Don't get me started about the benefits.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. There's other ways of tapping into your breath that don't kill you.
Anyway, I will see everybody. I have to go teach. We have animal communication, advanced animal communication, medical intuition, and a very special cat we're talking to today. So, see you next week. Thank you, guys.